Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to another channel update. This one for May 2020. Man, I can't believe it's May already. I can and I can't. It's you know, weird times we live in, friends. The footage you're seeing in the background is Burnout Revenge, which ironically is not the first footage I was going to show you. I was actually going to show you some old school Zelda 1, and I died, in 45 minutes I died 19 times. So, I mean, I know it's well established at this point that I'm pretty bad at video games, but even I looked at that footage and went, nah, I can't subject them to this. So, I figured I'd subject you to some car explosions rather than that. At least I do passively better in this one. As per the usual channel update formula, I'm just going to ramble on for quite some time about what's going on the channel, what's going on with me, things, just behind the scenes things, and whatnot. I'm not even going to get too tied up in numbers. A lot of times I will spend some time, saying, here's how many subscribers I've had and all that stuff. I really haven't done any of the math. I've gotten to a point where I just, the channel is pretty stagnant as it is as far as viewership and everything. And I've been focusing a little bit more on streaming, just slightly more, not big to do or anything like that. And those numbers are nothing. Those numbers are basically zero. So there's not a reason to parade them out. Although to be honest, I did hit was it 81 followers on Twitch again, but and that's, which isn't bad given that I'm not streaming Minecraft anymore. I think I had gotten up to about 60 or so when I was doing Minecraft a lot, and then that dropped down into the 40s when I stopped streaming forever. And now double that, so that's not terrible. I have been. So let's talk about some of the life stuff going on. So obviously we're all in quarantine, and we're going into month 2 now, and it's been interesting. It's been interesting stuff. It's been weird. I have been handling it better than I honestly thought, because what's weird is, I figured I'd be okay, because, I'm introverted to begin with, so it's not like being alone is the worst possible thing in the world. What I was concerned about was that, not being able to occasionally go out and just kind of be around people would still have sort of a deleterious effect, because even though, yeah, granted, I prefer to be alone, it doesn't mean I don't want human contact. It just means I'm a little more reserved when it comes to it, and that kind of thing. And of course, growing up, you've got that whole your parents tell you, constantly, like, go outside and play with the other kids and all that stuff, and that kind of embeds itself in your brain. So even when you're staying inside because you're supposed to stay inside, you still got that voice in the back of your head going like, "Oh, you should be outside. It's a nice day. Why are you inside on a nice day?" It's like, well, I'm supposed to be. So it's like, it's weird. You get this weird sort of back talk that you don't, on the one hand, you're doing exactly what needs to be done, but on the other hand, it still feels like you're, you know, being a wasteful, you're wasting your life kind of thing. But other than that, it's been relatively fine. I did finally manage to get a few things in here, like very slowly have built up a little bit of a, a little bit of a nest egg when it comes to, basic supplies. I haven't been hoarding things, but I've been like, buying like one extra of something, a week, because if I know I'm gonna go through one box of something in a week, I'll buy two, just to kind of get a little bit of a buffer, and I've managed to get a little bit of a buffer going, which is good because it's weird seeing like the shifting demand for things. So like, it was you couldn't get toilet paper. Now you can kind of get toilet paper, but it's not, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but there's like a couple individual rolls now you can buy. And now it's like, then they moved on to the laundry detergent. You couldn't find laundry detergent anywhere. Now you can kind of get laundry detergent, as long as you're, again, not picky. And then now it's like body soap, hand soap, that kind of stuff is gone now. But I managed to get like some singles on that. But it's like that's been the thing. It's just kind of shifting all the way around. It's going from one product to the next to the next. It's like I don't know how anybody can keep up with it. So that's been the weirdness, and I I've only been going to the store like once a week, so the fact that doesn't change it takes about a month for that to change. It just tells me that it's a real, they're having some real logistical problems, but still going fine there. Nothing to write home about with that. It's just a weird, you live in an area for a while and you think, oh, there's a lot of nice people around here. They'll, there's no hoarders here. They're not gonna, think only about themselves and everybody else. And then something like this happens and you realize, no, actually everybody is thinks only about themselves and not anybody else. I mean, it surprises me how long it took my local supermarket to finally start putting limits on items. It's like it took them being out of items for weeks in order for them to finally go like, oh yeah, we're going to limit this to 2 now. It's like, well, shit, did that a long time ago. But anyway, that's my rant over on that. Otherwise, doing okay. I managed to find some hair clippers, which is another thing that is out of stock now. Everybody's going, all right, well, I mean, I'm gonna be stuck indoors for a while. It's time to take the hedge clippers to the old noggin. So I did get some in. They weren't the really recommended kind, but the recommended ones, I forget the name of them, WHUL, I think it is, are the ones that come highly recommended. They're completely out of stock. You even go to their website and they're like, yeah, we're good luck. They're like, good luck if you find one. But I got the next best thing, and honestly, I don't need anything crazy, just as long as it can do the job. And I was looking online. I was looking on YouTube videos of people like, oh, how do you cut your own hair? And they had this guy that had like 2 mirrors, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna put probably the 1-inch blade or 2-inch blade on it, go full bore with it. If that looks bad, go even shorter. And if that looks bad, go take the blade off, take the guard off entirely, and just Captain Picard it. So later on, I don't know if it'll be this week or not, but in a little while you'll probably see a bit of a change where I have either no hair or significantly less hair on my head than I have now. Not going. I think I'll keep the goatee because I think it gives me some sort of personality. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I will because I think that'll be fun. But the hair is going to probably go, especially now that it's starting to get warmer, and I also figure I've got probably another. I'm going to say probably another month and a half to 2 months, and I'm going to be probably quarantined. Just because, I mean, not another month and a half to 2 months that I'll be working from home, I should say, because I think our company's going to be a lot more cautious than most. And I saw, I heard through the grapevine through people I've worked with who went to work for like Amazon out in Seattle. They've been telling people that can stay home, who can work from home, that they're probably going to be working from home until October. So that's interesting news. So we'll see what happens there. But don't take my word for that. That's just the ramblings of old colleagues. I have no idea if they've ever made any kind of real announcement of anything. So that's going to be that'll be a thing. But it's actually not been terrible working from home constantly. I mean, considering that there are people who don't have work, it's certainly been fantastic. But even just from a disruption kind of thing, it hasn't been that disruptive. I will say though, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, you won't know this, but I did tweet out that we are back into crunch time. We basically have crunch time twice a year. We do like 2 releases of our software a year, and pretty much every release, the weeks leading up to it, we have a crunch. The last release we didn't, because we didn't really what's the word I want to use here? We didn't make as sweeping of changes. Let's put it that way. The last releases we did, as we are now. So December, it's usually like June and December for me, and December wasn't bad at all. This has been a little bit rough. I've still got a lot to do, a lot to get done in the time that's left, and so I've been putting extra time in, which ends up being a lot easier than normal, since I'm home and I'm gonna, there's no difference from home and work anymore. In fact, I've been trying to fight to make sure that I do, keep some sort of difference in my mind, because otherwise I'd be working all night long and non-stop, and I can't do that. I need to make sure that I have some sort of end point. So what I've been doing the last few weeks has been, I'll start work at 8 in the morning, which is early for me, and then work till 5, and then if I have more stuff to do, then I just keep on going, and usually by around 7:30 I'm like, all right, well, I gotta wrap this up, so wrap this up by 8. So let's just pick, I'm not going to get everything done. Let's just pick, the one task that I can get done in the next half an hour. We'll get that accomplished, and then everything else just waits till tomorrow. So yeah, I've been doing like sort of 8 to 8 pretty much the last couple weeks or so, and it's that in and of itself is actually not that terrible. I mean, it's I would love to do just normal hours, but once in a while having our crunch time usually doesn't last very long. It's usually only about 3 weeks or so, and it looks like this will only be about 3 weeks as well. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I've been in companies where crunch time never ended. You know what I mean? So it's like 3 weeks, 6 weeks out of the year, pretty much not bad. So just trying to get through that. What's making this one a little bit more difficult is also I am fighting with just sleep schedules. Sleep has been fits and starts for me. Just from the weather transition of temperatures and everything else going on, it's been a little bit difficult. Just super tired all the time, and then you tack on to that, the normal stress of being in crunch time, and then the additional stress on top of that everyone is feeling of being just in the situation we find ourselves in. It's been weird, but just keeping on right now. Nothing crazy to write home about. But I mention all that because it does mean that, as per usual, when this stuff happens every year, my output to the YouTube channel, and some streaming, is going to go down while I sort of go through this period. So I'm going to be a little more haphazard when it comes to the streams. If I'm just not feeling like Friday, actually Wednesday and Friday, Friday especially, I was just beat, like absolutely beat. And the thing is, I'm usually not so tired that I can't do something. So I recorded some footage for the YouTube channel. Record some Let's Plays for the YouTube channel. But the reason I don't then go live is because I'm more concerned with just falling asleep while I'm live. If I fall asleep while I'm recording something locally, no big deal. It's going to get edited anyway. You just never know, unless I forget to edit it out. But you can't really do that when you're going live. You know what I mean? That's not really. That's kind of not cool. So a lot of times I just don't go live because I feel like I'm not going to last very long. What I'm also probably will do is I'll probably shorten the time of some of my streams depending on how I feel. So I might only do like an hour stream, or maybe just 2 hours or something like that, rather than the close to 3 that I usually do, just because of just being tired and everything else, and wanting to get to bed at a normal time and that kind of thing. So that's what's going on with that. Again, the channels, the YouTube channel, the videos going out will be a little bit sporadic at times. There'll be a couple more breaks where I don't put any videos out, and there'll be a couple times when I put like 2 or 3 to try to catch up, that kind of thing. It just all depends on when I have the opportunity to do some editing. That said, I hope you guys like Assassin's Creed, because I got tons of footage of Assassin's Creed. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2. Well, actually, I finished Assassin's Creed 2 on stream. So I have all the footage of that, and I think I've been editing those down to just like main mission stuff, story mission stuff. So you don't have to deal with too much of the side stuff that I would do. And honestly, even on stream, I've been doing most of the side stuff off camera, just because it can get super repetitive, and I'd rather, you know, focus the streams, because I'm recording the stream, so I like to try to focus them on, you know, the main missions and stuff. So I've completed Assassin's Creed 2. I have all the footage of that. I think I've got another, I want to say, 13 hours of footage left on that, that we have to go through to put out on the YouTube channel. So expect that for the next couple weeks. And I'm spreading it out, like, you know, I'm not trying to do it one day after the other after the other. I'm at least putting at least one day in between each episode, just so you don't, you know, not so much crap that you have to deal with. I also finished Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which, let me tell you, I enjoyed the hell out of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Like, that's the first and so far only Assassin's Creed game that I have really enjoyed the heck out of. So I have all the footage of that. That's like another 15, 16 hours of footage there. So you're going to be seeing that right after Assassin's Creed 2 gets finished. And then I've also started recording Assassin's Creed Revelations, which has been, it's been okay. I mean, it's not the greatest thing. And I think I'm using the remastered edition of it too, so all the graphics are, like, you know, rather nice, but it's just like, meh. Gameplay is, they threw a lot of stuff at the wall, and some of it's interesting, but it doesn't really stick well. It doesn't gel well with the rest of the game. So, but, you know, that one, again, I'll be focusing mostly on the story on that one. I've been doing a lot of stuff off camera on that. In fact, I got the entire city. I just was playing that earlier. I've got the entire city unlocked and everything, and all the viewpoints that I could do done, and all that stuff. So it's you know, we're ready to go there with some actual story content. So that is what will be coming down there. That is, I think once I'm done with Assassin's Creed Revelations, the next one is Assassin's Creed 3. And I think I'm going to take a little break before I do Assassin's Creed 3. Mostly because I have so much footage, I don't know what to do with it all. But also, it's nice to take a little break from time to time. I know I went through the Uncharted series in relatively short order. But the major difference there is the Uncharted series was only about, I mean, each game in that was only about 8 to 10 hours. You know, it was wham bam, thank you ma'am, and out, which was really nice. So I was able to get through some of them in just under a week, you know, of playing. But this one, significantly more content, so I'm trying not to overwhelm my editing too much with that. What I've also been doing is recording Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have not been doing live streams of that, mostly because I know that I'm going to have some choice words, and I've had some choice words while playing the game, and I just don't need feedback live on how stupid I am for not liking the game. So I've been doing that kind of in isolation, so as not to reduce, so as to get a raw feedback as to how I'm actually feeling about the game. And the game is okay. I really like the story so far. I'm not that far into it. I'm only about, I'd say 5 hours at best into the game. I like the story so far. It's got some weird parts that I'm not too keen on, but it's been relatively good so far. I like the cinematic feel of it, especially. It does feel like you're playing like a movie, essentially, you know, a CGI'd movie. What I don't like about it is the gameplay. I think the combat is just bad, and it doesn't really have that RPG feel to it. Like, you don't really get that much dialogue options, you know what I mean? Your character just basically has one line and that's it. And you spend most of your time just listening to everybody else talk about their day, you know? So from that perspective, it feels like baby's first RPG kind of thing. Like, it doesn't really give you dialogue choices or choices of any kind, really. I do like some of the things it does. Like, if you finish a quest, you know, it'll give you the option to just immediately go back to the quest giver to turn it in, which is cool. I think more war games could use something like that. But the reason I'm not too keen on the combat is I don't think they could decide what they wanted to be. Whether they wanted to be completely, you know, turn-based, or whether they wanted to be an action RPG. And honestly, I would have rather they'd been an action RPG and handled their UI that way, rather than doing this sort of hybrid thing that doesn't really work. They force you through menus. Now, yes, there is some, you can do some shortcuts for like healing potions and stuff like that, but they bury the shortcuts under the like L1 button. So in order to do a shortcut, you gotta do L1 plus another button, which is weird, given that every other action RPG game is like, hey, there's this thing called a D-pad, and we'll just let you map things to that, and then boom, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, I could map health to like down on the D-pad, and boom, there you go, easy. And the fact that you can't do that in this game is very strange. It's like somebody just didn't. It's like they didn't really think it through very well. So, and then there's little touches like that that just kind of make you. They force this sort of menu down your throat. You know, even with the shortcuts that you do, there's not enough of them to where you could like get rid of the menu entirely. And I say this as someone who played Ni no Kuni 2, right? Where the combat in that, you know, that was an RPG through and through, but the combat in that was action RPG. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to. You like, they put you on a pristine battlefield, so the camera was not obscuring your view like it does in this game, where it's like, oh, I guess my character's getting hit because I can't see because the camera's jammed up into a corner. You know, and I can't see what's going on, and you know, they put you on a pristine battlefield. They put everything at your fingertips. You know what I mean? All your spells and everything, and very rarely, you know, unless it was something just off the beaten path, like trying to eat food or something like that, did you have to go into a menu during the combat in Ni no Kuni 2. I feel like they could have stolen that. And it would have been, and the game would be 1,000% better as far as the combat goes. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they went the way they did with it, because I feel like it just doesn't feel good in any respect of the term. The music is fantastic though, but that's, you know, kind of expected it to be fantastic because I'd always heard how good the music was in that game, even, you know, back in the SNES days, or NES days. SNES? I guess it was SNES. So, yeah, I mean, even back in those days, I know the music was good, so I was expecting that to be good. But, yeah, so far, it's a thing. We'll see how I feel about it after I finish. It's going to take a while because I'm only doing about an hour or two a week. Whenever I can. Like, normally I'd be doing it tonight, but I have first impression videos I'd rather get done first, since they're a little bit easier to get edited and put out on the channel for this week, since I know this is going to be another grueling week. But that's where I stand with that. As far as what would be coming up next on the channel, there's a couple things that I've been mulling around in my brain. about what I want to do as far as streaming is concerned after I finish Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm thinking definitely top on the list is Mass Effect 2. I will not be playing Mass Effect 3. I may, if I'm really feeling okay, I may do like Mass Effect Andromeda at some point, but I played a little bit of that already and put some footage of that up on ye olde YouTubes, but that's a very, very, very low probability of happening. But it is something that's still in the back of my brain since I've been playing the Mass Effect stuff. But Mass Effect 2 is definitely the next thing on the list, I would say. Unless there's something else coming out that I have no idea of and it suddenly changes my perspective. I know that this month I believe is pretty empty as far as releases go. The only thing coming out this month that I really am interested in is the Minecraft Dungeons. So I'll definitely be playing that when it comes out. I think that comes out towards the end of the month. So I'll definitely be playing that. Definitely, almost definitely streaming it. I don't know how long I'll play it for. I mean, it's an action RPG, and that's usually my bread and butter. But I don't, who knows? From what I've seen early on here, there may not have been a whole lot of meat on those bones, and it's been very quiet from them. They're marketing. I think they think they're going to do their whole guerrilla marketing thing that they did for Minecraft, where it was like, oh, enough people will come back to play this, and that we don't need to spend any money on marketing. But I think they're going to get a rude awakening on that one, especially given everybody home and so many choices to have now. But in any event, that's the only thing that I know of this month that I'm looking for. There is I'm trying to download Gears Tactics, Gears of War Tactics, but because it's free for Game Pass holders, and but the Microsoft Store is being very much the Microsoft Store right now. Like, it starts to downloads about a gig, and then it fails. Then you say restart, and it downloads a gig, and it fails. You say restart, downloads another gig, and it fails. It's like, I'm up to 18 gigs now of the 30 that it wants down, but it just, once it gets another gig of data down, it fails again, and I have to keep clicking restart on it. So that's going to be fun times. So eventually that game will be on my computer, I guess. And so I might take a look at that. I've seen some people playing it, and it looks like something that'd be very fun to play, as far as tactical turn-based things go. So I'll be looking at that. I also, on a whim, purchased the new XCOM Chimera Squad, because I'd seen some footage of that too, and I was like, oh, this looks actually pretty interesting. I'm not a big XCOM person. In fact, I haven't really played any of the XCOM games. I'd have some of them because every so often they'll just come out for like dirt cheap, and in fact they're dirt cheap now. Even like they're 70 to 80% off now. So I picked up all the games I didn't already have, because they're stupidly cheap right now. I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Maybe someday I'll come back and play this. I was actually looking at XCOM Interceptor, which looks really close to my wheelhouse as far as like space fighter ship shoot 'em up kind of things. Because I didn't realize, I thought XCOM was always just tactical, but apparently they had a little period there where they went into other genres. So I might take a look at that and see if that betwixt my nethers or not. And the Chimera Squad and that kind of thing. I might get around to those, just sort of not streaming those, but just playing them on the side kind of thing. once I get some time back, which will be in a few weeks here. So probably like two weeks maybe. I'll finally get back to like a more regular schedule where I can kind of like, you know, breathe a little bit. And let's see what else. What I do want to stream though, and I've been wanting to get back to this for a long time. Obviously, there's Mass Effect 2, but I want to divide that time between Mass Effect 2 and also Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, because I streamed a bunch of that early on, and I got a decent way through the game, a couple missions into the game, and I even put some of that, in fact I have all that footage up on YouTube. But I'd like to, there's been some DLC for it and other things, I'd like to just get back to that if I can. I'd like to start over from the beginning, get back to it, and like really try to get through the game itself, get through all of it. So I'll be sort of dividing my time between those two things, I think, going forward, both Mass Effect 2 and that. And then, of course, there's always like Star Trek Online and stuff like that that is ongoing and continuing. And Saturdays I've been sort of doing racing games. It's, I think, what I might do. As much as I love doing racing games on Saturdays, I might, I do want to switch it up a bit. So I'm thinking, I have a lot of old school games that I really want to play. And I need to, I would like to get to that. And by old school, I mean like original Xbox games and stuff. Dungeons and Dragons on the original Xbox is one thing I want to play. I had started to play and record it, but then I ended up throwing the footage away because it just wasn't that great. So I'm thinking of, if I at least stream it, maybe the footage will be a little bit better. Things like this, like Burnout Revenge, and just other like sort of old school things. I do want to, and this has been on my list for a long time. I do want to play Halo 3 ODST. That was my most favorite Halo game, was ODST. And I have it on PC. I have it on 360 as well, I think. Yeah, I have it on 360 as well. I don't know if I'll play it. I think I'll play it on PC probably, because I have the remastered edition of it. And I definitely want to play through that too. That one I know is only going to take maybe 7 or 8 hours. Because that was a relatively straightforward campaign, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. So it's like something I definitely want to do. So I might somewhere in there as well fit in some ODST time and put that out on the channel. As far as the other Halo games, eventually I might get to them, but I don't know that I'll put them out on the YouTube channel, but I might eventually get to them. I've played Halo 1, I've played Halo 3, and some of Halo 4. I don't think I finished Halo 4. Halo 5, I own it, but I never even cracked the box open. It just, it had a lot of not so great reviews. Yeah, it's, and then of course ODST in there. Oh, and Reach. Halo Reach was a lot of fun. I might even do Halo Reach 2 as well, because that was also a ton of fun. Like ODST and Reach are like my top 2 games in the Halo franchise that I loved, absolutely loved. So, and I've never played Halo 2, so we'll have to see what's going on with all that stuff. But yeah, that's my thoughts, my plans, sort of, as to where I want to go with some of the stuff on the channel and you know, videos and things. Obviously, September, come September is Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk, once that comes out, is going to completely take over the channel. The streaming schedule and the channel and everything, unless it's not any good, in which case it'll take over for a little bit and then quietly disappear, as most things do. But I think that about covers most of what, I'm thinking of just now. There is also, as far as the YouTube channel goes, there was that little small independent game that I played. I still have that on my list. It was a first-person shooter in a sci-fi setting. It was a little bit janky, but it was still a lot of fun, and I forget the name of it. I really do. But and I don't think I see it on here anywhere. On my desktop anywhere. But I want to go back to that and finish that, because that was I had some fun in that. It was actually a lot of fun. As janky, it was the one with the camera that was all like wobbly and janky, and they fixed that apparently in a patch. So that was good, and I just kind of want to revisit it and just finish the rest of that, because I feel like that I feel like I had some fun with that, even though it was, not top notch by any stretch of the imagination. And there's a few other things like Shopkeeper's Tale was another one that I really enjoyed, that I might get back to once it's had some more stuff done to it. I still need to finish Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. I haven't. I just haven't been back to it for a while. Wolcen, I still have to finish. I did some grinding off camera for Wolcen, to try to get my character up to a level where maybe I could finally get past that boss battle. That would be interesting. But I'll do the boss battle not on a live stream, but a local recording, and then if I manage to get past it, then I'll go back to streaming that, I think, or maybe I'll just record it locally. What about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I need to at some point just kind of blow through that locally. I'm not going to stream that. I never really wanted to stream that. That's one of those games that I just don't want to deal with. But I may eventually burn through the rest of that. Close to the Sun was also one that was a story and narrative driven thing that I really liked, but I only did the one recording of it because there was just too many things going on at once, and I just couldn't. I wanted to spend more time with it, but too many other things distracted me. Too many other games distracted me. So I still have that under my currently playing thing. So I need to get back to that too at some point. The Pedestrian was a puzzle game that I really enjoyed. I played a little bit more of it off camera, and the puzzles I've gotten to the point where I am like I can't figure them out for the life of me. Like, they've gotten really hard. So I think the only thing stopping me from putting footage up of that is my own brain. I can't get past the part that I'm on. So it's that is uncertain as to whether or not I'll put more footage of that up or not. I want to jump back into Forager. I really enjoyed my time with Forager. I never fully finished the game, but it's had a lot of changes made to it still, and additions and stuff. So I want to start back from the beginning and play that. I even want to do some more, if I can, try to do some more speedrunning on it. They've changed enough that the speedrunning strats and stuff that we had before don't work anymore. So it's like, so we'll have to see how I can deal with that, if I can. But I still want to at least do a casual play it through of it, because I enjoyed that tremendously. And then, of course, another game that's had a lot of updates to it, Satisfactory. Definitely want to stream Satisfactory some more. That might be a Saturday thing where I just sit down with it on a Saturday and just stream the heck out of it. I will put that footage up on the YouTube, but it may not be cut up footage like I was doing. It may be just literally just the live stream itself. In fact, what I might even do, I've been trying to keep the streams off the main channel, but I haven't been using my other YouTube channel at all for the streaming stuff, because I haven't been streaming to YouTube. I might stream Satisfactory on YouTube in addition to, on the main YouTube channel, in addition to on my other channels. Just because I see a lot more people streaming on YouTube now, and I like some of the streaming stuff on YouTube. I've sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I've shied away from it on the main channel because I'm streaming usually at 720p, right? And what I normally do is I'll stream something, but I'll record locally at 1080p, and then I'll put the whole thing up at 1080p. If I stream directly, you're not going to get the 1080p-ness of it. I don't think that's a big deal for most people. So, and for Satisfactory, it's really not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not that their art style is bad or anything. It's not. It's really good. It's just not, you're not really looking for like super crisp graphics. You're looking for just watching somebody build stuff. So so we'll see on that one. That one I might test. I might do like a YouTube streaming test with that, where I stream to the main channel instead of to the Memory Leak Doom channel. I mean, I could stream to the Memory Leak Doom channel and then just bring the recorded footage over to YouTube and just put it up as is. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing in many cases, but I don't know. It's hard to judge what people are looking for. You know what I mean? You have a certain quality level, and you're kind of worried about not maintaining that same quality level. But in all honesty, I don't think it's gonna matter all that much, especially on like a one-off kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. It's something I've got on my brain. I don't want to stream everything to YouTube, mostly because I still have to deal with content ID crap on YouTube, more so than I have to on any of the other services. Obviously, there's like a content ID like thing on Twitch, but it's not nearly as bad, and it only really affects the VODs, which very few people watch on Twitch anyway. So that I'm not too concerned with. It's more, it's the thing that concerns me with YouTube streaming. That, and I know there's been a rash of bots and stuff that are just annoying over on YouTube. So I might have to moderate the chat more, that kind of thing. Stop to moderate things. But we'll see how it winds out. I had some nice success streaming, just even on like the new channel, on the Memory Leak Doom channel, for stuff. I was just doing Borderlands and things. That was a lot of fun. So maybe if I do it sparingly, it'll be okay. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. Another thing that I have on my list here is Destiny 2. I had done a bunch in the story missions of Destiny 2, but then life things happened, and I had many other games I wanted to record and stuff, and so that kind of fell by the wayside. I have to find out where I'm at on the story with that and go back to that at some point. So I might do that as well. I think to go back to the streaming on YouTube stuff, I think the only time I'm going to stream on YouTube is things that I know I'm not going to spend time editing or re-rendering for a video. So I think Satisfactory is one of those things I'm not going to spend the time on editing. And Destiny 2 is not one of those things, but what brings that up is I also have Warframe here still, and I still have not. I've played a little bit of Warframe. I'm still not into it. I still haven't. It still hasn't gotten its claws into me. So I'm thinking I would probably stream only Warframe, and then that would be something maybe I would stream directly to the YouTubes. Or not directly, but I mean, that would be another game that I'd be open to me streaming on the YouTube channel, just because it's you know, it's Warframe. You know, I don't know that I'm going to do much justice to the game at all. No Man's Sky is also another one that I'm like, yeah, I could probably do that right on the channel as well. That one I just have to constantly. It's like I constantly restart No Man's Sky over and over and over again because I get to a certain point and then I'm like, well, all right, now I want to do more stuff and I can't do more stuff because stuff isn't triggering like it's supposed to, and you know, I still haven't. It still hasn't clicked with me yet. You know, No Man's Sky. After all these years, it's good, but it still hasn't clicked to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, I now understand everything I'm doing, kind of thing. So all of that stuff, friends, all of that stuff. Yeah, that about covers it, I think. And I'm just getting towards the end of our footage here. I did all the crash explodey stuff towards the end here. So yeah, I think that covers everything thus far. Kudos to anyone who managed to make it through this entire episode of me just rambling and rambling and rambling. But I don't get an opportunity to ramble that often anymore. So even on streams, I don't get the chance to ramble that much. So it's nice to just kind of sit here and do it and just kind of get my thoughts out there and everything. But in any event, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you are enjoying what's been going on the channel. I hope you continue to enjoy the stuff that's going on the channel. Please be patient with me the next 2 to 3 weeks while I go through, you know, the meat grinder and try. I need to focus. You know, the day job puts food on the table. That's got to take priority. This stuff doesn't. So this is just a hobby. So you know, it's gonna go to the back burner for a little bit. But that said, I am going to. I have a little bit of time tonight, so I'm gonna right after this record some first impression stuff. There's a bunch of like demos that came out on Steam all at once, so I'm gonna look at a few of those amongst other things. So hopefully we'll get enough to where I have one every day. Maybe I can get 5 of them. I'm not gonna get 5 of them tonight, but at least, you know, maybe I can try to get 5 of them. And then tomorrow night I will record a little bit more Final Fantasy VII, hopefully, because I have a little bit of footage, but I don't know if I have enough for another episode left, but we'll see. I got tons of Assassin's Creed stuff as well, so this week in streaming will be Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm going to try to finish that game up as fast as I can. We'll see. I might switch up this week between Assassin's Creed Revelations and something else. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yep, that about covers everything so far, friends. Again, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and everyone have an excellent month, I hope. continuing your social distancing and all those fun things, and basically just stay healthy, and don't get anybody else sick in the process of staying healthy. And hope to see you guys back here again next month for some more another update, hopefully. So, and hopefully the update next month will be equally as optimistic. And it won't be me sitting here with a shotgun going, if anybody comes on my lawn again, they're gonna get it. Hopefully I'll still have my wits about me at that point. Oh, anyway, thanks again, everybody, and I hope to see you again in the next stuff. So, see you, bye.